Hi, here is Blanca Vergara again with a new edition of Parenting the Gods Conversations. We have a new guest with us. Her name is Annie Chisambo. She is based in the UK, in London, and she's another mom. And she's one of these experienced moms. She is a mom of two teenagers, so a quite experienced mom. And she comes up with a very interesting subject. Her subject is money. She is the author of Money Matters. And she's also hosted a radio show that is called The Money Show. And there she discusses many subjects related to money, including the subjects, of course, of spending and saving and investing. And she does that specifically for training children. So that's a relevance here for us. She not only is a mom and is expert in money, but uses that knowledge specifically for children. So we're really excited to welcome you here, Annie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So I always like to start at the beginning. How did you get into this subject?
Of money. Well, I used to work in finance, and there was one month I did not budget my money. So I ended up having to walk instead of going by public transport. I didn't have any money saved. So I ended up having to walk 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes, Blanca, to work, and another 1 hour, 30 minutes from work. And that's when I realized, I thought, I am working in finance. How pathetic is it that I can't manage my own money? And then I started thinking, well, there must be people out there who haven't been taught about money. How are they coping? So that's how that concept came about.
Wow, amazing.
I know.
This happens to all of us. The thing that we're good at some point is exactly the thing that we do the worst.
Yeah. Yes.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it was so embarrassing, like, so when people ask me, oh, because I was wearing like my trainers because I had to walk, and they'll say, oh, you've been walking, and I'll say, oh, yes, it's good exercise. You see, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm a mom of two teenagers. I want to look my best. So really, and people started walking as well because they thought, well, it seems to be a healthy thing to do. I realized I had no money.
Oh, this is so beautiful. And and then what were your first steps? How did you start with this? You started with your book. Tell us about your book. What is it
Oh,
all
yes.
about? What's your thesis?
Well, I did a bit of research first. I thought, well, let me find out, are they teaching kids about money in schools? And then I went to my daughter's primary school, and I asked the head teacher, and she said, no, we're not doing anything at all. If you like, you can come in and have a session with our 10 and 11-year-olds and see how that goes. So I had a first session with 10 to 11-year-olds. There were 30 of them. And I was teaching them how to budget their pocket money. And it was a great success. The children loved it. I loved it. I was buzzing for days, Blanca. I enjoyed it. And I thought, wow, I really could do this. I really enjoyed that. And then I thought, well, let me do a bit of research, find out what books are out there for kids, what books are out there for parents. And there were not many available. So I thought, well, you know what? I can put together a book, How to Budget with Your Pocket Money, because children get pocket money all the time, don't they? Get pocket money from their grandparents, from their parents, but maybe they don't plan with their money. So I thought, well, I'll put it together, and it will help people to think through what they should do with their money instead of just spending it or doing something silly with it. So there you go.
Yeah. And what are your recommendations? What are the top three recommendations on how to deal with money? Uh,
I would I would say for children, plan it. I find that most times when you give somebody £10, they're thinking, oh, I'm gonna go get something from the shop. But planning it, maybe thinking about putting something on paper. Okay, I've got £10. What am I going to do with it? And the things to consider should be things like saving some of it, and sharing it with someone, and of course, spending the rest of it. So it's really having a balance and knowing what you want to do with your money, planning with it. You know how we plan over the weekend? Like I would ask you, Blanca, what are you doing this weekend? You probably planned it out. Oh, the children and I are going to do this, and my husband and I are going to do this. Same thing with the money. We don't do that enough. And I think, getting them into the habit of planning with their money, because that's what a budget is really, just planning with your money, then you're sorted really for life. It's a life skill.
It's just so amazing. We plan our weddings to the smallest detail, who's going to be sitting close to who, and which order is going to this happen. And our life, we don't plan it. Our money, we don't plan it.
Yes, it is a problem because it does get you into trouble. Because sometimes you sit back and you think, oh, I wish I hadn't spent that money on that dress. I don't like that dress anyway. You go shopping and you buy things that you don't need. Also, important thing, Blanca, a shopping list. Take a shopping list with you when you go shopping, because I've gone shopping and without a shopping list, and then I go there and I see something is in the sale and I think, oh, I think I'm gonna buy that, but I don't really need it, and I end up spending money on things that I don't need, and the things that I do need, I'm struggling to fulfill them or meet those because I don't have the money. So
it's just simply the shopping list. It's a reminder there in front of you of this is my plan. This is what I stand for.
yes,
Very powerful. Because it's just simple. It's just simple.
it is. It is. And don't go shopping when you're hungry, Blanca, because you're gonna put a lot of trash in that shopping trolley because you think, well, oh, I think I'll need this, and I want this, and I want that. And ever seen the supermarket? Like when you're getting to the counter, you find chocolates and sweets and stuff. They're displayed there, and that's like to tempt you to buy them. And if you're shopping with little children, have you noticed that they're stacked at eye level of children, of children? So you find that the children see those and they say, Mommy, I want chocolate. Mommy, I want this. And if you're hungry and the children are hungry, you're going to cave in and buy the items that you don't need.
Yeah. But on top of that they are quite unhealthy. This all the sugar concentrated back to for everything in the little bodies. I like very much on the concepts that you have. Saving, that's kind of that's really important. We see it in many countries that saving is not very cared for. The spending that we're talking about. But the third concept that I find really interesting is sharing. That you make it really subject apart, the sharing for the children. What do you recommend for the children on sharing?
Well, sharing doesn't necessarily have to be just giving to charity. That's part of that. But also thinking about being kind to your siblings or being kind to your parents or to your friends. So, say, as an example, say you've got a little brother and you've got some money and he wants a little toy and it's going to cost, say, £1 as an example. And you have the money, you can go out and buy it for your brother. Of course, there are events like where there's a big charity thing that people are contributing towards. You can do that, but you may not do that on a monthly basis. So really, when you're planning it, when you're planning to share, you're thinking, who can I be good to? And that's always a good thing to encourage generosity in people, in the children especially. Most times when they're little, when you were little, Blanca, think about it. They always used to say, oh no, share your toys or share this and share this. And then when you grow older, it's no longer talked about and it's no longer encouraged. So if people are planning about sharing their money, maybe buying their mother flowers or something, or taking a friend out for a drink, or do you know what I mean? Buying a bus fare for a friend who is struggling. Those are the things that we need to plan, and it's part of our generosity, part of character building. So you're a generous person even when you're older because you've instilled those habits in the children, or you've had those habits instilled in you while you were young.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real representation of what love is in the actual reality, the day-to-day of the children.
Yes.
We're in the days of the World Cup now, and I managed to convince my children to give away of the balloon, all the orange balloons of that they were decorating our house. And you should have seen their eyes of excitement of giving the balloons away and seeing the smiles of the other children. That's something that gives back. So this sharing, I find it really powerful for children. It's really forgotten as in adulthood.
It is. And really, I think there have been surveys done that say that people who share are actually happier people. Because that's just how it is. As you said, you get so much back from seeing the happy faces of people that you're sharing with, and it's just amazing. And also the fact that it does eventually come back. I mean, you don't give with the intention of somebody giving it back to you, but eventually somebody's going to show you kindness at some point when you do need it. So really, what goes around does come around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. So then we're covering spending, sharing, and what do you say about saving?
Yes, saving, yes. Saving, so important. I always teach the children, you save for a rainy day or you save for something that is big. So it's part of your financial planning. If you want, or goals, if you like, if you want something that's going to cost, say, £50 or something, and you're getting, say, £10 a week, as an example, okay? If you're going to save, say, £5 of it, it's going to take you 10 weeks. So it's a discipline, really, getting them to see how they can achieve their goal. So the discipline of knowing that after 10 weeks, I am going to buy such and such an object is always very important. But also emergencies. There'll be times when you do need money for whatever reason. I remember one child, I was teaching a class, and we were talking about emergencies. And he said, yes, you need money for emergencies, like when you break a window. And we thought, right, I don't have to pay. But you see, there you go. As adults, there are always emergencies. You have a flat tire, or the washing machine isn't working, or something, something always comes up, and you always need that little extra money sat there when you need it. So there you go. So it's quite funny,
This
actually.
is quite funny. You reminded me another father I know who had that experience that his child broke a window, and the child said, "But the brick flew out of my hands."
Good excuse.
Oh, and Annie, when to start with this? Because with my little ones, they are so little. I don't give them even money, and you cannot start when they are 15. What do you recommend?
I would say as soon as they're showing interest, like say as an example, if you're going shopping and your son or daughter says, "Mommy, I want a teddy bear or something," and it's gonna cost, say, £2, yeah, maybe you can say, "Well, we can't get it straight away, but what we can do is introduce a piggy bank at home, yeah, and start putting some loose change in there, okay? Put it together every time you have some money left over, or your husband has got some money left over. You put it in there and let your child know that that's what you're saving for. Even put a picture of that little teddy on the piggy bank, so you know that the money that's going in there is for that little teddy bear. And then after, say, 1 week, 2 weeks or something, count the money and see if you have enough. And then take the child with you and say, okay, we've got enough money to buy that little teddy bear that you want. So that way you're instilling the concept of saving, that we just don't get everything that we want. It takes time, and sometimes we have to put money aside over a few weeks to get what we want. So, or even as an example, if your daughter or son has tantrums in the shop, okay, because they want something and you're saying no, I remember, oh, I hate to admit this, but I used to have tantrums when I was younger. So Oh no, I don't think my mom enjoyed taking me shopping. If I wanted sweets and she wasn't gonna buy it for me, and I knew she had money in the purse, oh no, I'd throw myself on the ground and roll and scream and everything else. So I was quite a nightmare. So for kids who do things like that, you can put together a shopping list together. So their shopping list will have pictures. So you can have pictures of carrots as an example. You can have pictures of whatever. And if you're planning to buy them sweets, put pictures of sweets, okay? So they have their own shopping list and you have yours with the same items. Yours will be handwritten, obviously. And then what you're gonna do is they're gonna help you find the items. So when you say carrots, they've also got carrots. So they'll be looking around, getting the carrots in the trolley. So if they want anything that's not on the list, you can say, no, baby, it's not on the list. We don't get anything that's not on the list. So we're not buying anything else, only what's on the list. So it's a discipline that they realize that, we just don't buy everything that we want. See, there you go.
But this brings me to the ideas of healthy money management, because I've been working with adults forever with the bad money ideas. Money doesn't grow on trees. Who do you think you are? Rockefeller. I am Rockefeller. These ideas. Oh, we cannot afford it. All these sentences that adults need to heal. How can we prevent our children to have to heal that?
To get into trouble, you mean?
No, all these money beliefs, like I cannot afford it, or we cannot afford it, and then you start thinking that you don't deserve it, that you will never make money, and that you are poor, and with just negative self-talk of around money.
Absolutely. I think, yes, parents, we need to be careful about what we say because, yes, the kids are developing mindsets that we're passing on to them. So, like you said, yes, we can't afford it and it's too expensive. And you're right, people do think the kids grow up thinking, well, we can never afford to do this or we can never afford to do that. But then, as a parent, I think the way to look at it would be something like, okay, we may not have the money right now, but how do you think we can raise the money to be able to do that? How much is it, first of all? And what are the things that we can do? And then ask the children to think up of ideas, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what they can come up with. Maybe we can sell some of the items that we don't need on eBay, or maybe we can have a car wash or something like that. So then they also take on the responsibility of thinking of how they can raise the money.
Yeah.
So both ways, it's like a joint effort. So the mom says, okay, if you raise, say, 20 pounds or something, I'll add 10 pounds to that. Or if you save so much, I'll add a certain percentage to that. So it's an incentive of working together. And it may be that you won't have the money straight away. It may take you months or even a few years to save up for something. But at least you're focused, you've got a goal, and also the mindset that you can afford it. It may take time, but you can afford it, and it's not beyond your reach. So that's a healthy mindset to pass on to our children, definitely. Yeah.
And how can parents start doing that? Should this be a conversation or a series of steps? How do you do it? Do you, because you work with the children, don't you?
Yes.
How do you deal with the parents?
Well, the parents, normally we have a session where we tell them what we're doing with the children. And they do a little exercise sometimes. We tell them, okay, what can you do to support the children? So, like examples of taking the shopping list with you, and also thinking about how the children can earn money, or if they don't want to give pocket money, give them ideas on how the children can earn money, so that you have the concept of we work to earn money, so it's not just handed to us. So there'll be ideas like, okay, have a chart on the fridge or something to say, okay, every time you clean your bedroom or every time you take out the garbage, I give you so much money. So then that way the child is learning that for that kind of work that I'm doing, it's gonna earn me so much money. And then have a day when you're giving them the money, like payday kind of thing. So the concept of working and then earning something, getting paid, and then you've got the concept of also planning with it. So when they give the money to the children, have three envelopes, okay, saving, sharing, and spending. So it's like, okay, this month or this week you have earned £10, okay, how much of it are you going to save? So you put it in the saving envelope. How much are you going to share? And what are you going to do with it? Okay, maybe £2 goes in there. And then the balance is what you're going to spend. What are you planning to spend on it? If you don't have any spending plan, maybe it's best that we save it. And then taking the children to the bank to open like a savings account if they don't have one, or taking them along to deposit. Let the children fill in the deposit slip if that's what the bank does, or tell the children, let the children go to the bank teller and put the money in. So those are the things that parents can do to support their children, but also model. Children do as they see, not as they do. I should know, I've got teenagers. So you can say a lot of things, but if you're not doing what you're saying, the children won't follow it through. So, as an example, if you're saving for an event, maybe you're saving money for a dress or something, have a piggy bank or something with a dress on it, and then put money in there so that the children can realize that, oh, the money going in there is for mommy's dress, for that special event. So, model your life. That's
absolutely,
what it is.
absolutely.
Yes.
Because I had very bad examples from both my parents on money management.
Yeah.
Very bad examples. I'm not going to put them on the spot, but
No.
maybe you can help us with some of the worst examples that you have seen among your parents, so that the people listening to they kind of they say, "Oh my God, that's me."
Yeah.
And maybe an
Okay.
alternative. What could I be doing instead?
Right. Okay. So things like, as you said, we don't have any money, we can't afford it. Those words have to go. So it has to be something like, how can we afford it? Come on, let's brainstorm. Let's come up with ways that we can raise some money to do whatever it is that you're asking. Okay. But also, just borrowing anyhow. That's a problem because you think, well, I'm going to run out of money. Where I come from, yeah, it was like your paycheck will take you only to half the month, and then the rest of the month you're asking people for some money, or you're asking the organization to loan you some money. So you know, it's not a great idea. So it's basically even planning with your children, especially if they're older, like say teenagers as an example. You can say, well, you know what? We get so much coming in. We've got bills coming in. Okay, that's if you want to be transparent with the children. If you're that way inclined, you can say, well, we've got bills coming in, and that's water, electricity, gas. We've got this and this. So how do you think we can reduce these bills? Okay, so that we can then get to do whatever it is that you want. So instead of saying I've got too many bills, I can't afford it, how about what can we do to reduce those bills? So maybe those mobile phones, maybe we can get a cheaper contract. Can we do that? Or how about turning off the lights when you're not in the room? How about not when you're brushing your teeth, turn off the water. So it's not just running. Those are the everyday kind of things that you can do, but you have to work together with your children. And also the importance of balancing your checkbook. Do we see our parents balance their checkbook, or are they always overdrawn? Now, when sometimes you find parents complaining that, oh no, the bank has charged me so much money again, but that's because you're overdrawn. Do you balance your checkbook? Do you know what's coming in and what's coming out? Maybe let the children see you balance your checkbook, and it's not a bad thing. So as I said, children pick up on what they see you do. And
Absolutely.
and if you've saved, let's say as an example, if you're going on holiday, you're not, say, relying on a payday loan, to finance that holiday. But if they see you saving for that holiday, they'll realize that, we just, just don't just take off, and charge it on a credit card or charge it on a payday loan.
Yeah.
But we plan things, but it has to be modeled.
Yeah,
it has to be modeled.
I think the word that I'm getting at, or what is resonating in my heart, is this secrecy. This, oh no, we don't talk about money, no bills to pay, and where it's coming from, where it's going to, we don't talk. And to make it transparent to the children, this is what we're going to do. And it's not that we cannot afford it, but we might decide that we don't want to have that object.
Yes.
Or that experience, whatever it is, the thing that needs to be bought.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember, I think one parent said, well, actually, when I go to work, I earn, is it £8 an hour? Well, that's my rate, okay? I get paid £8 an hour, okay? And you want something that's going to cost, I don't know, £160. Now, how many hours is that? So then the child can say, well, ooh, that's quite a lot of hours. That's a lot of hours for me to get that. Maybe it is a bit pricey. Getting them to think things through, and really the importance of the difference between need and want. Okay, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yes.
Because do you really need that big TV? That wide screen, however many inches TV. Do you really need that? Or can you do with something that's equally as good, but probably not as big or not as expensive? So things like that. Okay, yes, we may need a TV, fine, okay, but can we be sensible about this? Yeah? Yeah, so things like, okay, are you buying a fancy dress or, a lovely outfit before you've even budgeted for food? Do you see? So are you looking nice and yet you're starving? Those kind of things.
Yes, absolutely.
There was no money at the end of the month to buy food, but
beautiful dress.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember somebody once said that when they were growing up, they used to have this huge house, hardly any furniture, didn't have much food, but their parents were like keeping up with the Joneses, the people next door. But it wasn't really working for them. It's really working within the money that you get, living within your means, as it's called. That's always important. Yeah.
What would you say that is the biggest challenge of parents nowadays and this subject of money?
There's a lot of things being advertised on TV. Plenty of stuff, the kids, this is the coolest thing that's come out, and all the children who have this item are very cool. But then the item is £500, but do you really need it? You need to keep up with what everybody else is doing. And sometimes we may think, well, everybody has it. That's not true, because you don't know everybody, and not everybody has it.
Absolutely.
That's how it is. So really, you've got a lot of pressure on TV about get this, get that. You'll be the coolest kid on the block. So you've got that pressure coming through. And then, of course, because of the recession, you find that many people may have lost their jobs, or may be in a job that's not earning them as much as they had before. So trying to live within those means, and trying to get things cheaper but maintain a certain level of lifestyle can be very challenging. And that's why you find that there are loads of like payday loans or loads of credit cards that are out there that say, well, you can get your money within 2 days, or within even a few hours.
Yeah.
And you go for that, not realizing that the interest is so high. They don't tell you the interest is in such small letters. It's like, 1,500% APR. And you think, oh, well, it's really nothing. And they tell you, oh, well, you're going to be paying £10 a week. And you think, oh, well, that's all right. But what they don't tell you is that you're going to be paying £10 a week for 30 years. You see, because the interest is that much. So really understanding what you're signing for is very important. And it's a challenge if you haven't been taught. If you haven't been taught how to manage your money, it is a challenge because you don't have the skills. So what I would say is go on a course or something, find out what's out there. There must be something, maybe a half-day kind of course or something, just to make yourself understand what those terminologies mean, what those like say if you go to the bank and they say, well, this account will give you 2% AER. What does AER mean? Are there penalties? Understanding things like, okay, if I go overdrawn, what does that mean? Are they going to charge me extra? Are they not going to? Is there a buffer? Can I go over by £5 and they won't charge me? Or is it if I'm overdrawn, by a certain amount, how does the bank deal with those kind of things? So it's always important to educate yourself because you can't do better unless you know better.
And they go back to the modeling, that if we do this and we educate ourselves, we are teaching the children to educate themselves, because
Yes,
the terms of the banks, the terms of money will be different when they are adults.
absolutely. Yes, it can. Yes, it can change, but I think the principles are still the same. Like if we instill the habit, because saving and sharing and spending, it's a habit, and we can develop bad habits easily as well as pick up good ones.
Yes.
Of course, the good ones are more challenging because it's like, you have to be disciplined to keep it up. But once the habit is in place, it's so much easier. Your life is so much easier because it's what you've been brought up to do, and it's part of who you are. So, and you agree with me, it's easier to train a child while he's younger than when he's a teenager, because they may have picked up bad habits on their way. So when they're say 5, 6, 7, 8, they believe mommy and daddy know exactly what they're doing. Mommy and daddy are the best. They're really wise. They're smart. So they will follow through whatever you tell them. But then when they get to teenage years, you've got loads of other influences coming through. You've got their peers, you've got maybe teachers, you've got role models on TV that may not be very good for them. So really, that's why we always target the primary school kids, because they're more likely to take on what you're teaching them than when they're older.
Start as early as possible, as practical as possible. More, make it a habit.
Yes, yes. And it's not just something that you do only once, it's something that you do continually. So if you're giving them pocket money, same thing, those 3 envelopes come out. What are you planning with the money? How much are you saving? How much are you sharing? How much are you spending? What are you going to spend it on? And also going on the internet to find out what is it that, okay, say you want an item or something. Don't just go to the first supermarket. Go on the internet and Google it, and find out where you can get it cheaper. So they may say, well, I'm putting aside £5 for this, but maybe you can get it cheaper at another superstore because maybe it's on offer at that time. And then that means they can save more then, or share more, whatever they decide to do. But it's always smart to shop around. Even like say if you want to open a bank account for the children, shop around for the best interest rate. Shop around for the offers that are on at that time. Yeah, so always shop around.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love your approach because he's very down to earth, very practical, and takes away all these labels of shame and guilt and poverty. Just practical. Make a list, shop around, make your planning, do the envelopes. It's very, very practical, and don't use all these heavy labels that many people talk in relation with the money.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Because I find that when you talk to adults about money, they glaze over because they're thinking, dear God, yeah, I don't know what, I have no clue what you're talking about. But, if you keep it simple enough for people to understand, simple enough for them to be able to follow it through, it's so much easier. It really is. Because they think, well, I can do that. Oh, 3 envelopes. Oh, I can do that. Oh, open a bank account. Oh, that's easy enough. Make a shopping list. I can do that. And then get the children involved and children are involved, like you said, it won't be a taboo, will it, though?
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be a taboo.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't be. And you can work together as a family, and the children will benefit from it as well as you, because you won't really have the pressure, because the children will understand, well, we're not buying this item because it's not a need for us at this point. So getting them to come on board is very important. I find, like, with my children, because I've been very honest with them, they're okay to buy things from a cheap shop, like clothes and things.
Yeah.
Even though they may not be like the brands that everybody's going for, but it looks just as good and it's cheaper. They'll rather do that and have some more money in their pocket to do something else with it, as opposed to going for those brands, and nobody's going to know the difference anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Absolutely. So really, it's important. The needs and wants, so important. Yeah, we go with the needs first. We make sure we've got money to cover the needs first before the wants. The wants can wait, The wants can wait. We may not get them today, but we can get them next year or next month or next week or whatever, as the case may be.
And then we just plan them, and then and then it'll be done. So, Annie, I can see that we can talk for a long time because you have a lot of content, but asking you a very difficult question, maybe the most difficult question in all the conversation, is the last final tip that you would like to give to our parents on financial education. What will be the number one thing that they need to start doing right now, really as soon as they finish listening this video?
I think definitely planning with their money. It's no point putting your head in the sand and thinking that it's going to go away. No, it's important to know what your situation is. If you owe money, write down how much is it that you owe, how much is it that you have coming in, and then are you able, though, to pay back that loan? And if you're not, then you can start thinking of your options. What is it that I can do to earn more money? Or if I look at how much I'm spending on items, maybe on some of the bills, can I reduce the bills? And then, of course, you can work with your children around those areas and to say, okay, well, the bills for, say, water, electricity are too high, so let's work together to reduce these because we want to pay off that loan. And then once that loan is paid off, if you do have a loan, or if you're not saving, then you can start saving towards something, that you can agree with the family that's worthwhile for the whole family to do. So if you're planning to go on holiday, but you've got a loan and you can't save, well, maybe work together towards paying off that loan and then start saving towards your holiday. Have those goals in place, because it will motivate you to continue to be disciplined to carry through whatever it is that you want to do, because you've got goals that you want to reach. Very important. Know your situation, and then take it from there.
Yeah, clarity. Take the head out of the sand. Annie, thank you so much. I'm really grateful for this conversation. It's so needed to talk about money. It's sadly a great taboo. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today. I certainly enjoyed this conversation. If you enjoyed it as well, please do like it here in YouTube or in our website. And of course, Annie and I have a question for you. What are the money strategies that you are using with your children that are working for you, or precisely the ones that are not working for you? Share it in the comments in our website, because other people will learn from what you are doing. And we certainly feel inspired and interested in hearing what you have to say. And once you are there, join our mailing list, because there I share things that I cannot simply share in video. And once again, I would like to thank everybody for being here. And remember, the only language that your children understand